Good day everyone, we are Group A and today we will discuss the Convention on the International Regulations for Preventing Collisions at the Sea 1972, also known as COLREGS 1972. COLREGS is an international set of rules used by ships and vessels to prevent collisions at sea. It is commonly called the rules of the road for mariners. Before Coleridge, different countries followed different navigation rules, which caused confusion and accidents at sea. For several hundred years, navigation rules exist but they had no legal force. In 1840, Trinity House in London created rules for steam vessels. In 1846, these rules became an official act of parliament later. Colored side lights and fog signals were introduced in 1858. By 1864, more than 30 maritime countries adopt common regulations for navigation. As ships became larger and faster and radar technology was introduced, the rules needed improvement because of this. Ang conference was held in October 1972 that created the new COLREGS format. The Convention on the International Regulations for Preventing Collisions at the Sea was adopted on October 20, 1972 and entered into force on July 15, 1977. That is the brief history of COLREGS 1972.
The International Maritime Organization Convention on the International Regulations for Preventing Collisions at Sea, commonly known as COLREGS, was created to promote safety and prevent accidents at sea. These regulations are followed internationally by vessels to ensure proper navigation, communication, and discipline on waterways. COLREGS is divided into several parts and annexes, each focusing on a specific aspect of maritime safety. Here is a simple explanation of its contents and construction. Contents and construction of COLREGS. Part A. General. Part A explains the general application of the rules. It tells where and when the regulations apply and identifies the vessels required to follow them. This section also provides important definitions of commonly used terms such as vessel, power-driven vessel, sailing vessel, and restricted visibility. Understanding these definitions is important because they are used throughout the entire convention. Part A also emphasized that every vessel, regardless of size or type, has the responsibility to avoid collisions and navigate safely at all times. Part B. Steering and Sailing Rules. Part B is considering the heart of COLREGS because it contains the rules that guide vessels while navigating. These rules explain what actions ships should take when they meet, cross, or overtake each other. It identifies which vessel must give way and which vessel should maintain its course and speed. For example, when two core-driven vessels are crossing paths, the vessels that has the other vessels on its starboard side must give way. In overtaking situations, the overtaking vessel must keep clear of the being overtaken. This section also contains rules for navigation in narrow channels, traffic separation systems, and situations with restricted visibility such as fog or heavy rain. These rules help maintain order and greatly reduce the risk of accidents at sea. Part C. Lights and Shapes. Part C discusses the lights and shapes vessels must display to show their status, direction, and activity. Navigation lights are especially important during nighttime or poor visibility because they allow other vessels to, to identify and understand the movement of nearby ships. For example, power-driven vessels display masthead lights, side lights, and stern lights, while facing vessels and vessels not under command have special light arrangements and day shifts. These shapes are black geometric symbols displayed during daytime to communicate vessel conditions or activities. Proper use of lights and shapes help mariners make safe decisions while navigating. So part D, and sound and light signals. Part D covers sounds and light signals used for communication between vessels. Ships use whistles, bells, gongs, and flashing lights to signal their intentions to or warn nearby vessels. For example, one short blast of the whistle means altering my course to starboard, while two short blasts mean I'm altering my course to port. In restricted visibility, vessels use fog signals to alert others of their presence and movement. These communication methods are important because they help prevent misunderstandings between ships, especially in crowded waterways or poor weather conditions. Part E. Exemptions. Part A explains that some vessels may receive temporary exemption from certain requirements of coal regs. This usually applies to older ships that were built before newer regulations were introduced. However, exemptions are only allowed if safety is not seriously affected. This part ensures fairness while still maintaining safe navigation standards. Lastly, Part F, verification of compliance. Part F focuses in ensuring that vessels comply with the rules of the convention. Authorities and maritime administration inspect inspect ships to verify that their lights, shapes, sound equipment, and navigation system meet the required standards. Compliance checks are important because they ensure that all vessels operate safely and follow international maritime regulations. So let's go for annexes of Colregs. Annex 1. Positioning and technical details of lights and ship. Annex 1 provides the technical specifications for navigation lights and shape. It explains the correct positioning, color, range of visibility, and dimensions required for these signals. This annex ensures that all vessels display standardized lights and shapes that can be recognized internationally. Annex 2. Additional signals for fishing vessels. This annex contains additional rules and signals specifically for safe fishing vessels engaged in fishing operations. Since fishing vessels may have restricted maneuverability because of their fishing gear, they use special signals to inform nearby ships of their condition and activity. Annex 3. Technical details of sound signal appliances. Annex 3 explains the technical requirements for sound producing devices such as whistle, bells, and gongs. It specifies the correct sound range, frequency, and installation standard for different vessels size to ensure signals can be heard clearly. Lastly, Annex 4, distress signals. Annex 4 lists the internationally recognized distress signals used during emergencies. These include rockets, red flare, so signals, distresses flag, emergency radio message, and other signals requesting immediate assistance. These signals help rescuers quickly identify vessels in danger and provide aid as soon as possible.
Good day everyone. Now I will discuss the application of colorings. Part A of colorings explains where and to whom the rules apply. The rules apply to all vessels on the high seas, all waters connected to the sea that are navigable by seagoing vessels. This means the rules apply to cargo ships, passenger ships, fishing vessels, sailing vessels, small boats. And all vessels regardless of nationality must follow these regulations to maintain safety and order at sea. The application of colorings is important because it prevents misunderstandings between vessels, reduces accidents and collisions, promotes discipline among mariners, improves maritime safety worldwide. As future seafarers, we must understand and follow these rules properly because safety is always the top priority at sea. And that's all. Thank you.
Now I will discuss the concept of responsibility under coal rights. The concept of responsibility is found in Rule 2 of coal rights. This rule statement that every vessel's own master and crew is responsible for following proper precaution to avoid danger and consolation. It also explains that no vessels to excuse from neglecting safety precaution. Mariners must use good seamanship. Common sense and careful judgment are important. Even if vessels follow the written rules, the crew must still act responsibility to avoid accident. For example, during bad weather or heavy traffic, mariners should take extra precaution to ensure safety. This rule reminds us that navigation is not about following rules but also responsibility, awareness, and proper decision making. Safety at sea depends on action of everyone on board. Thank you.
General definition of terms and conclusion. Now, I will discuss to you the general definition of terms used in coal rig. Coal rig provides important definitions to avoid confusions among mariners. Some examples are vessel, any type of watercraft used as transportation on water. Power-driven vessel, a vessel propelled by machinery or engine. Sailing vessel, a vessel propelled only by sails. Fishing vessels, a vessel engaging in fishing operations that may restrict maneuverability. Underway, a vessel is not anchored and not aground and not tied to shore. These definitions are important because they help mariners understand the rules correctly and apply them properly during navigation. To conclude, Coal Rig 1972 is important international regulations promote safety and prevent collisions at sea. Part A. Part A explains that applicants of during the rules that responsibility of mariners and the definitions of important navigation terms. As a future maritime professional, studying and understanding coal rigs is essential for safety, responsible navigations. Thank you and have a good day.